What's up guys, it's BD here, and I've gotten an overwhelming amount of questions about this keyboard, the SteelSeries Apex Pro. Now I did cover this last summer and I wasn't too impressed, especially for the asking price of like $180 to $200. Yikes. It featured ABS keycaps, it had a non-standard bottom row so you couldn't use your own keycap set without having a black spacebar on it. It had a non-detachable cord so you couldn't customize that, but it has a screen. Ooh, ah. So as you can imagine, from a keyboard enthusiast perspective, this keyboard leaves a lot to be desired. But I think I got it wrong the first time around, so maybe, just maybe, this keyboard could benefit some of you gamers out there. So today I'm going to be going over the OmniPoint switches to see if they actually make a difference for your gaming, as well as comparing it to the Huntsman TE and letting you guys know my thoughts about which one you should be picking up over the other. Okay, so the SteelSeries Apex Pro features what are called these OmniPoint switches, which allow you to change the actuation point from like a 0.4mm all the way down to a 3.6mm, which is kind of like what we see for a traditional Cherry MX switch. Now this 0.4mm is what they're claiming to be the world's fastest. The next closest would be the Huntsman TE with that optical linear switch. So a lot of these pros, like Mongrel, somebody that I follow, he started using it, and I know this keyboard kind of blew up after that because he's just a beast, right? He's just cracked out, especially with his building and stuff like that. He's able to take advantage of the switch because he doesn't have to go as deep on the switch. So if you're somebody that lightly taps the switch, you'll be able to take advantage of that 0.4mm actuation point. If you're somebody that is very heavy-handed and you're going all the way down on the switch like that, you're not really gonna get the full benefit of this keyboard. You might as well just put it at 3.6 or use a better switch in my opinion. But if you can also train yourself to use this keyboard and type lightly, you'll be able to take advantage and build faster in games like Fortnite. And here's where I feel like I made a mistake in the first review of the Apex Pro, is with these OmniPoint switches, in a traditional shooter, you're just using WASD. Your fingers are going to be going all the way down on the switch. They're most likely going to be like on the W key, just holding it down. You're not going to be really tapping lightly or holding it down lightly, right? But games like Fortnite, where it's a non-traditional shooter, you got building and you really need to be quick about getting your walls up or editing and things like that. This keyboard can actually come in handy because you don't have to go down as far on the switch. You can lightly tap and just get all of your walls up. So I'm not just going to throw up some Fortnite gameplay of me trying to build and looking like a noob because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not even going to pretend like I know what I'm doing, but I do want to think from your guys' perspective on how this could actually benefit you guys. Yeah, this keyboard is extremely expensive, but it's like with anything in sports, right? You want to get every advantage that you can. And in a game like Fortnite, that's a non-traditional shooter, that can actually come in handy. In games like Counter-Strike or Apex or any of these other traditional shooters, this keyboard isn't going to really make a difference for you in terms of actuation. You might as well get some holy pandas. So a lot of you guys have been asking me in the comments and in my DMs about the Apex Pro versus the Huntsman TE, which one you should get. Let me just start with this, okay? The spring force on these OmniPoint switches is greater than on the Huntsman TE. So the Huntsman TE, if you put your hand on it, you're going to feel like it's the faster keyboard. And you'll actually get to the actuation point, I feel like, slightly faster because of that. The spring on the OmniPoint switches is actually pretty heavy. So yes, the actuation is higher on the switch, but the spring is a little bit heavier. Now, if we could combine the lightness of the spring on the Razer Huntsman TE and put that on the Apex Pro, we'd have a completely different beast on our hands. And the Huntsman TE is so light that sometimes I'll just have my hand just like resting on the keyboard and it'll just start pressing stuff by accident. It's insane. Overall, in terms of speed, I feel like the Huntsman TE is a little bit better in that regard, especially when you consider that you're getting a detachable USB-C, you're getting PBT keycaps. I mean, these are aftermarket. Well, these are Razer keycaps, but still, you're getting some PBT keycaps. Sound-wise, I feel like the OmniPoint switches are a lot smoother. They sound way better. The stabilizers on the SteelSeries Apex Pro are better than the Huntsman TE. They don't sound too pretty, but they get the job done. Overall, I feel like the Huntsman TE does a better job of balancing the gamer side and also getting us closer to a keyboard enthusiast side. So it's kind of like a mix of a baby. You know, it's kind of right there smack dab in the middle. It doesn't give us everything, but the Huntsman TE is closer to the price that I would expect for what you're getting. But if I wanted the fastest keyboard out, not just looking at the actuation point, you got to take all the other things into account, like the bottoming out force, the force needed to press down on it, not just the actuation. If that were the case, I think the Huntsman TE is a little bit faster overall. So to answer the question, did I get it wrong? Yes and no, okay? I got it wrong in the fact that I didn't really take into account the unorthodox shooter that Fortnite is. You guys got to be building walls and editing, not just shooting, right? Not just pressing WASD, pressing W key going forward like in Apex or Call of Duty or Counter-Strike even. But instead, if you're actually able to take advantage of that 0.4mm actuation point by lightly tapping the keyboard to build your walls or your buildings, whatever, I don't know what the lingo is for Fortnite. I'm not even going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about, but I'm only thinking about it from your guys' perspective, and I can see that this will benefit you guys out there. Overall though, I do feel like the Razer Huntsman TE switches and key presses are just way lighter, way faster, and I feel like you can actually build and spam faster with that keyboard than with this one, because the OmniPoint switches actually have they kind of take a little bit of force to press down the key presses. So that would be my recommendation for you guys. You guys can take it for what it is. The Apex Pro is overpriced, but it's not horrible. All right guys, it is your boy BT. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.